Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Expendables 4, starring Jason Statham, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Megan Fox, Dolph Lundgren, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Randy Couture, Andy Garcia, and Sylvester Stallone, directed by Scott Waugh. Now, now let's just get straight into this. Before I do, welcome back to The Expendables retrospective after like a year or two ago. So let's see how this movie goes and see if it's better than the third one, because that third one I remember being the worst. Let's get into it. We open with an attack of a general of Libya led by Ramat, played by Iko Uwais, as he kills the general and his family, and we go back to New Orleans with Barney Ross, returned by Sylvester Stallone, barely, visiting Lee Christmas, returned by Jason Statham, along with fellow Expendable and girlfriend Gina, played by Megan Fox, arguing like cats and dogs as we go back and forth between the attack on Libya and back home in New Orleans. And the editing feels so damn choppy as we get to a bar and Barney asks Christmas to get help out getting his lucky ring from a guy named Jumbo Shrimp as he leaves it on a dildo. And Christmas fights Jumbo Shrimp with the classics and beats the living shit out of him as well as his guards, while Barney flips Chuck upside down, and these scenes are shot terribly. Barney and Christmas meet up with Gunner, returned by Dolph Lundgren, Toll Road, returned by Randy Couture, Easy Day, played by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and a new guy we meet with CIA agent Marsh, played by Andy Garcia, and go by plane of Libya. And this movie is quite a repeat of the first film, where Toll Road talks about what happened to his ear. And I'm going to be brutally honest here, I hate these fucking characters, as the new Expendables is the most annoying of them all. As this motherfucker talks too much, as he really got on my nerves, and Toll Road got on my nerves too, the new guy I mean, while constantly repeating himself. They get to Libya and immediately get shot at, and Barney flies the plane, and Gunner acting like a terrible sniper, and the rest fight Ramat and his goons. And these action scenes were shot terribly, as it looked absolutely fucking choppy. And the fact that this movie is rated R and blood and guts were flying all over the place makes this movie kind of interesting, but not in a good way, as it tries to feel like the first movie again, which is obviously not a good idea, like the fans asked for it, as they get tired of the series. And I say be careful what you wish for, because it'll be granted, but it will annoy the shit out of you from the get-go. Christmas ignores getting a bomb device and tries to save Barney, but he gets blown up in a plane and killed by Ramat, and I thought, seriously, this is the first 30 minutes of the movie? As I know Barney will be back later at the end of the movie, so this didn't fool me, as it was predictable thanks to the damn trailers. Barney's funeral is held at the bar he typically goes to, as Gina comes in to try to talk to Christmas while drinking alone, and Marsh fires Christmas and makes Gina the leader of the Expendables. And Christmas takes the lucky ring from the bar, and Christmas is looking for a job and finds one as a security guard for a village asshole on TikTok who cussed in front of the ladies. And he beats the shit out of him, and people loved it on TikTok because the guy was being a douchebag, but the scene was terrible. And can you keep up, and can you come up with something much better than this pile of shit? Christmas breaks into Gina's house, and he does get caught, and they talk, wrestle, and sleep together as Christmas gives Gina the knife that was inspired by Barney. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this scene about? As Christmas puts a tracking device on the knife, and Gina goes on the mission and hired a new Expendable named Lash, as the actress playing I've reviewed before in the first Purge. And they get to East Asia, which looks pretty, but it's briefly shown as it's choppily edited. Christmas gets to Thailand and meets Daisha, played by Tony Jaa, as he takes him to a ship Ramat is at, and Marsh meets with Gina and the other Expendables in South Asia, and they get to the ship and sneak around to look for the nukes, to only get captured, as this is terrible and predictable right out of the gate. Ramat captures Marsh to only get what he wants, which is the hostage, while Christmas gets dropped off, and Daisha says he can't go with him, and it'll unleash the beast in him. as we'll potentially learn that later in the movie, as it was funny when he bumped into an enemy he pretends to be Colin and kills him with a knife, and that was an amusing trick. But Ramat is not a bad villain as Stonebanks in the third film, but he is pretty bad. It was hilarious. Some bad guys watch the Village Assholes TikTok, sees Christmas on there, and next thing you know, they see him after all this time where he kills the collector of the weapons and picks up the walkie-talkie and talks like Bruce Willis in Die Hard / Gerard Butler in Olympus Has Fallen, and he kills every bad guy around him, but at the same time, it was a headache-worthy movie. Christmas rides a motorcycle with guns on it, which was kind of cool, but the action in that scene was at times obnoxious, and it gets to a point I can't believe how bad this movie is. Christmas fights some bad guys and sees Daisha unleashing the beast, and I kind of like Daisha when he unleashes the beast, as that was, again, kind of cool. The trapped Expendables have an idea of getting a way out, which is getting the door wet, and Toll Road pisses on it, which was completely unnecessary, and the new Expendable speaks since Barney died and avenges Barney by going through the wet door, and Christmas enters after they escape the room, and the other Expendables and Christmas, along with Daisha, and Christmas saves their lives, I'll say. And the new Expendable says Feliz Navidad, in which I got the joke because his name is Christmas, and Feliz Navidad means Merry Christmas in Spanish. But at the same time, it's not that funny. Ramat and his goons hear music that I'm guessing is by 50 Cent, because he's in the movie, and they fight the goons as well as Ramat, and Gunner drinks to trigger his aim as he fights like he did before, and these fight scenes felt very choreographed. It wasn't funny. Christmas fights Ramat and both wound each other painfully, and Christmas stabs Ramat and kills him and says that's for Barney, and we learn the real bad guy is Marsh, and Christmas goes after him, and Marsh throws a bomb in the water and makes it World War III for the Expendables. And they get to the boat. Daisha came with, and they get the Expendables out of there, except Christmas for turning the ship around, as he almost fights with Marsh until Barney comes in with the helicopter and kills Marsh, as he almost fucking killed Christmas, and he says it, and Barney says, "You're welcome." And the bomb explodes with the ship, and they get away just in time, which was convenient. And it was revealed Barney escaped before his plane goes down, and he switches his body to Jumbo Shrimp, as he was the one that died, not Barney, which was kind of clever. And they celebrate Barney's resurrection, and Christmas gives back Barney's lucky ring to Barney, and the credits roll to the song "The Boys Are Back in Town" in the first film. And this movie is like a pale imitation of the original movie, and this climax was absolutely fucking predictable, as I knew Barney was coming back thanks to the damn trailers. Now it's time for my rating. I'll give this movie a 2.7 out of 10. I hate these fucking characters, as the new Expendable is the most annoying out of any of them, and this movie is absolutely fucking annoying, along with Toll Road's ear talking, and the writing is dreadful, as this movie is fucking predictable. Like, I saw Barney's return happening, as it pissed me off, and the editing is choppy, as every shot was 2 seconds too soon, like 1, 2, go, 1, 2, go, as that was annoying to my eyes. And Ramat and Marsh are bad villains of the movie, but not as bad as Stonebanks in the third film. But they're pretty bad at the end of the day. This is a headache-worthy movie that didn't need to be made nor seen on the big screen, as the action scenes were obnoxious to watch at times, and I can't believe Stallone wants out of the series. And on a down note, as this movie is pretty bad, and this is a solid non-recommendation. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for returning to the Expendables series. And until maybe we never will get another one, it's time to go expendable.